Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Procrastination is the subject of an entire chapter of my book, Get It Done Guys, 9 Steps to Work Less and Do More. It's common, and we usually think of it as our enemy. But anything that powerful can also be a force for good. Today, we're going to use procrastination usefully. We're going to procrastinate email. It's possible to write an email today, but delay it so it actually arrives someday in the future. That little delay, it turns email from a tool for overload into a tool for making life better. Here are my 4 quick and dirty tips to use deferred email to your advantage. Tip number 1, slow down conversations. Some people use email like a conversation. You send them a brief note, and they reply with a 10-page missive telling you about the emotional hurdles they've tackled in getting over the death of their pet bird Fluffy 11 years ago. If you send your sympathetic reply immediately, you'll be treated to an instantaneous response with more heartfelt outbursts than one person should ever be subjected to. Personal connection is important, but so is your sanity. When you're in a conversation that's distracting you from what you want to get done, simply delay your responses. You can compose your homage to Fluffy the bird now and send it to be delivered in 2 days. You keep the connection going, but you slow it down to a manageable pace. Tip number 2, clear to-do list clutter. Sometimes to-do items appear that aren't quite appropriate for today, but you don't want them cluttering up your calendar or spending weeks on your to-do list until they become relevant. Here's an example. Bernice realized that at some point, she's going to have to tell her boyfriend Melvin that they're getting married. She hasn't decided when, however. If she adds it to her to-do list now, she'll have to keep looking at it every time she handles her daily tasks. And she's certainly not ready to schedule an announcement. Besides, if Melvin sees her to-do list or calendar, it would spoil the surprise. Delayed email saves the day. Bernice just schedules 2 emails to herself to arrive in 6 weeks. The first email is a reminder to order Jim and Pam's wedding episode from The Office. The second email is to buy cheese puffs, Melvin's favorite snack food, for when they watch the episode together. She figures he'll be so motivated by seeing Jim and Pam's wonderful romantic wedding that he'll get the hint and propose. Then she can reveal that the wedding is already planned and just a few weeks away. Tip number 3, defer things that you don't want to handle now. Vice Chairman Europa also uses deferred email. In her case, it's not so much about specific tasks as it is about big issues she'll have to deal with eventually. One of her business competitors has been stealing market share from her in 3 different economies. She knows she'll need to do something about this eventually, but she has other things to worry about right now. Competition hasn't reached crisis proportions, and besides, her super genius son Thomas hasn't perfected the disintegrating ray yet. It's supposed to be available for beta testing in 6 months. That will make negotiations much easier. Europa sends herself a deferred email scheduled to arrive at the start of the beta test in 6 months. In the email body, she includes links to the market intelligence about her competitor, plus her current thinking about the issue. When the email arrives, she can review the issue and deal with it then and there, defer it again, or decide that it's no longer a concern. Tip number 4, get your documents right when you need them. Melvin recently scheduled a trip to attend the American Birding Association's convention. The travel site he used sent him his itinerary and receipt in an email. His train ticket came as a PDF file to print out, and his hotel confirmation was also sent by email. Melvin uses deferred email to send himself reminder documents exactly when he needs them. He forwards his itinerary to himself twice. One copy arrives the morning he departs. The second copy arrives the last day of travel, so he has a reminder of his return details. The tickets are set to arrive half an hour before departure so he can call them up on his smartphone. He uses the same technique to send himself materials he'll need for his meetings so they arrive right before the meetings are scheduled to begin. Deferred email gives him everything he needs right when he needs it. One way to send deferred email is from your desktop email application. If you're on Windows using Outlook, you can send deferred email when you're composing a message. Write your message, then click Options. Then under Delivery Options, select Do Not Deliver Before and click the delivery date and time you want. If you use Thunderbird, you can use the Send Later 3 plugin to send deferred mail. The only problem with using a desktop application is that you have to leave the desktop application running so that it's open at the time the email is scheduled to go out. Several web services also let you send deferred email. You forward an email to a special email address, and that message gets sent back to you in the future. For example, one such service is followup.cc. You send email to 12hours at followup.cc to be reminded of that email conversation 12 hours in the future. It also lets you snooze reminder emails. Followup.cc is mainly set up to handle to-do type items. Nudgemail.com and later.com, yes, laytr.com, that's with a Y, lets you simply forward email to yourself sometime in the future. They don't have the snooze feature of followup.cc, but they're more email-centric, and later.com lets you send deferred email to other people, not just yourself. If you use Gmail or Google Apps for email, you can use my personal favorite, boomeranggmail.com. This is an integrated browser plugin for Gmail, and it adds itself to Gmail's interface. With a single mouse click or two, you can defer email, have a conversation boomeranged back to you in a week, or send a message and get an automatic reminder if the other person hasn't responded within the time frame you specify. To summarize, choose one of the many tools out there that can send deferred email. Use it to slow down conversations, remind yourself of to-do items in the future, remind yourself of issues that you can't deal with now but you need to revisit later, and arrange for your materials to be where you want them when you want them. Good luck. This is Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I offer executive coaching to help entrepreneurs get control of their time by setting up accountability systems and keeping them focused on their top strategic goals. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.